Hello, my name is Resilan, and welcome to Satisfactory. In the last episode, I showed you the starting of reworking the iron plant. In this episode, I want to kind of show you, as we pan around and look here, you will notice that things look quite a bit different. A number of the buildings have been removed. There's been new buildings built in their place. So I'm going to take you through the different pieces that are here. This is kind of the starter area that has been redone, has more volume in it. We talked about the iron plant last time. I'm not really going to go through that this time. It is running now. If we come over here and look at this, you see items that are actually flowing here and coming across here. You can see things are being synced. There's a little bit of overflow here. There are a few iron ingots that are not getting used. Those iron ingots that are not getting used are getting synced. You can see wire that is not getting used getting synced. A lot of screws, rods and plates that are being synced at the moment. These things drop down. If we come under here underneath, they are coming out underneath onto this little platform, and they are being run across here and under the bridge here into this facility over here. Now this facility here is taking in, I want to just kind of highlight here, it is basically taking in iron plates and iron rod, as well as the copper wire is going into this facility. And what I'm doing in here is I have a whole bunch of constructors that are producing a couple of items. One is I am producing reinforced plates using the stitched iron plate alternate recipe. So that's taking iron plates and wire to produce those items. I am taking the reinforced plates and bringing them over here, and I am actually producing modular frames with iron, combining those with iron rods to produce modular frames. Now that if all of these items are coming out, or the leftover reinforced plates and the wire is coming out in this building here and being routed up along with other items that we're producing onto a bus that I'm taking over to my storage facility. Now you'll notice there's a uniform look to my buildings now. If I back out a little bit to this building, you can see there's a single story building with the steel at the bottom, as I mentioned I was going to do. I've got a single story building over there, and then the rods, the concrete story on top of that that's being done. So that's one factory there that is producing it's producing two items coming out of there. Now over here, we've redone this area over here as well. We've brought the copper. I've got 3 copper nodes that are feeding over here. I've got copper node from over there in the corner. These 2 copper nodes here that are feeding into this particular plant. And this plant is a 2-story plant that has been built here. If we go into the first floor here where the copper is coming in, we have a whole bunch of smelters that are being produced here. I believe there's 24 smelters that are taking the copper and producing copper ingots. The copper ingots are coming out the end of the building and being routed. Now some of the copper ingots at the moment are being routed into an awesome sink. These will eventually, there's additional uses for these copper ingots that'll be used. The other things are being turned into sheets and cable, and they're being sent to the storage facility with an overflow here to a sink. And you'll see that there's some of the items going to the storage facility. In fact, all of them are headed into the sink at the moment. So if we come up here into floor number 2, what we have here on this floor is we have a whole bunch of constructors that are taking copper ingots and turning the copper ingots into copper wire. The copper wire is being fed over here into a set of constructors that are producing cable. The cable is being routed out of the building and headed over to the storage facility. If we go on upstairs, from there, we also have all kind of copper ingots coming in. We have the copper ingots being fed into a whole bunch of constructors that are producing copper sheets. Now these are not running 100% efficiently right now. That will get fixed as it's fully saturated, but all of these will be producing sheets that are sent back out and routed back over to my storage facility or to other uses of things that I'm going to build. We will have other things that are built from that. Along with that, I will say, we've got the storage facility here. I will come over here and kind of show you some of the items here in the storage facility. I have these items coming in on one end of the storage facility and being fed into the boxes. And then I have other items coming in here and being fed in here. This has been reworked a little bit from what the last time you saw it. But this is the items that are being produced from my original iron factory and being routed in via a bus into the facility over here on the back side of this facility. So that's been a rework of my copper, or of my initial iron plant and copper plant. So with the initial phases that I built, I had a number of different factories, but I have reinforced that, and I've cleaned this area up, put a standardized look to my buildings, and brought the items that I was producing over here into the facility in order to be sorted into the different storage containers. And so that's just the beginning of the work that I'm doing here in this particular part of the map in order to produce the items that I need. In the next episode, we will be starting some additional items. We still have to build rotors. We're missing rotors from this build. We will need to add rotors to this build. We will need to bring in items from our steel plant because we need to automate the production of motors. If you will remember, in some of the previous builds, motors were being produced here via just boxes. We were feeding things out of a box into a box and producing the rotors that way. But we are going to need a significantly larger facility for producing those items, and so we will be expanding our capabilities of what we're doing here and where we're shipping that information to. So wanted to give you an overview of what I've done, and a lot of work in reworking this area, but we do have a clean area here for a train station and other things that we're going to build in this area. We've reworked our starting facilities and where they're kind of routed and doing some of that. So in the next episode, we'll pick it up with some additional changes that we're going to make to the facilities. I want to thank you for watching, and just keep in mind we do post a video each week that we show off or showcase what we're doing with the build and the structure. And so I'd like to encourage you to subscribe to the channel for notifications of when those updates will occur. And I want to thank you for watching. Everyone take care, and we'll see you next time.